Hey, but the summer of Tire Rack Sweepstakes. What is that? You've not been listening? Bad job by you. The summer of Tire Rack Sweepstakes rolls on. Amazing. We had our first winner announced on Sunday. One winner has already been selected to win a set of 4 brand spanking new tires. How cool is that? Yeah. Everyone needs tires, right? This is wonderful. And what better place to get tires from than tirerack.com? Now, 2 more winners. 2 have an opportunity to win a set of 4 tires, and that includes installation, right? You get that. You get the taxes and fees all covered, valued at up to $1,500. Hello. Give me some of that, right? I'm not eligible, but you are. And it's very simple to sign up. Enter daily. You can do it right now. You don't have to wait. Do it right now. Enter daily, which gets you a new entry into the contest every single day. Your new favorite website, foxsportsradio.com. That's the site. You go to foxsportsradio.com. Boom, you fill out your information right there and boost your opportunity, your chance to win. And 2 more winners, again, 2 more will take home a set of 4 brand spanking new tires from our friends at tirerack.com between now and August 27th. So you still have time, but don't waste it. To enter and get the rules and regulations, visit foxsportsradio.com. And it's sponsored by tirerack.com, the way tire buying should be. Get those tires. As more bodies are falling from the employment ranks to the unemployment ranks, the shakeup in the NBA broadcast world continues here as we get into the month of August. And the news coming down in the last 24 hours here, if you've not heard, maybe you were not locked in on this kind of thing and you might have missed it. So if you didn't hear, Mark Jackson has been given the boot. Hey, gone. From ESPN, let go Mark Jackson months after Jeff Van Gundy was also let go, about a month after Van Gundy was shown the door. So Jackson and Van Gundy, who had been part of the NBA Finals, the A-team for NBA broadcast for over a decade. I think it's close to 15 years, over 15 years for Van Gundy. But Jackson been there for a long time, also off and on, and he gone. So both of them laid off. Mike Breen will continue. He has not been fired as of yet or laid off, but who knows? Depends on the price of Disney stock. Maybe he will be let go. I don't know. Apparently it's doing pretty well. Wall Street loves when people get laid off. The people on Wall Street, they get a little aroused when people lose their jobs. It is so good for Wall Street. Anyway, so Mark Jackson, Van Gundy gone. That is the big story here. They are going to be replaced by Doris Burke and Doc Rivers. Okay, now that's the word. Originally, the plan was that Mark Jackson was just going to be demoted, we are told, that he would have been on the B team, not the A team, and that he was going to work with the man that hates the cops, Mark Jones, over there at ESPN, and they were going to work side by side. And instead, Mark Jackson is thrown overboard off the sinking Bristol ship there as he is a gonzo. So let us discuss the question, right? The lead broadcast team. We're talking about the lead broadcast team for the NBA. So is the NBA broadcast moving away from Van Gundy and Jackson and in on Doris Burke and Mark Jackson's replacement, which will be Doc Rivers? Is that a upgrade, downgrade, or a lateral move? So the arrow on this one is pointing towards downgrade. This is a downgrade on NBA broadcast. Now, the good news is no one watches because of the announcers. Otherwise, this would be problematic. Trust me, that nobody tunes in to hear what the broadcasters have to say. People tune into radio shows to hear what gas bags like myself and others have to say. But to broadcast, it's just white noise. That's all it is. It's just background noise. I've got Phillips screwdriver, chicken dinner, and juicy fruit. And we will combine all of these things together, and we will help to advance. We're going to hope to advance to the knockout stage. That's what we're going to hope to do. We're going to try to advance to the knockout stage. So first of all, This is what's known as a throttle down situation in the broadcast world. Jeff Van Gundy is the big loss. Not even Mark Jackson, but Van Gundy, who was let go a while ago. Jeff Van Gundy was someone who was a best-in-show winner on NBA broadcast. His sarcastic, zany opinions during NBA games were refreshing. They were wonderful. And Mark Jackson, while I'm not a huge fan of Mark Jackson, a toe licker for LeBron James and a longtime LeBron apologist, Mark Jackson. That being said, they did get along very well. Van Gundy and Mark Jackson played well together. They played off each other's shtick. The shtickala, as my grandfather would say. And so they did well together. And so you get rid of Van Gundy, now you get rid of Jackson, you're starting over here. I do buy the conspiracy. We talked about this in a previous episode of the show, that Jeff Van Gundy was let go because he annoyed people at the NBA. And the story, I saw this story bouncing around yesterday, and it really confirmed, it validated that take, because the people who were quoted, of course, off the record, the television people said, well, people at the Entertainment and Sports Network there in Connecticut were concerned about Jeff Van Gundy becoming a coach and leaving them high and dry. And I said, what a load of manure. What a load of manure. Shouldn't you want to have broadcasters that are so good that they might end up becoming coaches? Shouldn't that be the goal? They had John Gruden over there. I know he's taboo to say his name, but Gruden was there for years, and every year his name came up that he was going to become a head coach, and eventually he did become a head coach again until there were some emails from the Washington Redskins that got released, and then he was no longer a head coach, and now he's suing the NFL. But the point is, if you agree Van Gundy's great at what he does, he's one of the top guys at that, and so you like him, you're gonna let him go because he's so good you're afraid he's gonna leave? That makes no sense. It's like, I don't want to date the hot girl because she might leave me for somebody else, so I'll date somebody. But no, you don't have that mindset. That's a loser's mindset. And so it's a total reach. And what Van Gundy did is he tugged on the dragon's tail and won too many times. And now as for Mark Jackson, hand down, man down for Mark Jackson as he's let go. And you could argue he deserved to be excommunicated the moment he left Nikola Jokic completely off the MVP ballot. Not in second, not in third, completely off the ballot. You could argue that's a fireable offense back then. Now for the unpopular opinion. I've been told that the only opinion you can have is Doris Burke is great, and you need to love everything she says. I don't. I guess that makes me a bad person. I have nothing against Doris Burke. I've heard good things about her. People love working with Doris Burke. I've worked with people who work over there. They say she's wonderful. I just think she stinks as a broadcaster. That's my opinion. And so we'll find out. I mean, there'll be no real evidence either way because it's just background noise. But the queen of cliches, and then you've got Doc Rivers, who's got that raspy voice. And imagine listening to that for 2.5 hours during an NBA game, every other night during the NBA playoffs. Man, just give me a Phillips screwdriver and I can shove it in my eardrum and puncture my eardrum. That would be the way to go. But anyway, so this is the epitome of combining a loud chewer and nails on the chalkboard, what they've put together here. So but the good news is you got the mute button. So just hit the mute button, and then you don't have to worry about it. You watch it, and you're on your way. You're good to go. Now, secondly, let's go to Portland. We'll stop in Portland. The Miami Heat are still said to be in the pole position to go down the Oregon Trail and pillage the Blazers and get Dame Lillard in return and send him to South Beach. We are told that Miami is the only team, the only one that is considered to be a legitimate bidder for Dame Lillard, which is good because Lillard does not want to play anywhere other than Miami. So the trade request was made July 1st. Here we are a month later on August 1st as we're doing this in real time. And as of now, the question is who's going to flinch first, right? What's happening with the Damian Lillard trade front? It's like a It's like a chicken dinner. Bok, bok, chicken. It's a game of chicken. You want to see who's going to flinch, and Lillard wants to play in South Florida. The Heat want him, but they know they don't have to give up too much because, as we said, it's like, nobody else is really interested. Lillard don't want to play anywhere else. They've made that be known. The NBA stepped in, big brother in the NBA, like, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Yeah, right. Happens all the time. And guess what? It's going to happen again next year when some player doesn't want to play in a certain city and asked out. That's how that works. But Portland is not that interested. The Heat have offered, if you believe the latest reporting, 3 or 4 first-round picks. Who cares about those? Miami will be good, or at least average. Those will be fringe lottery picks or low first-round picks. Pick swaps. It's like swapping boogers. Who cares? And then second-round picks, those are worthless unless you find Nikola Jokic again. Let me know if you do. And Tyler Hero, plus some filler, some spam that they will toss in. So good luck. We have an old-fashioned standoff going on right now. Now, the final thought, there's one other story in the NBA. Since we talked about Mark Jackson, there's one other story that got my attention here. In Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton continues to sulk in the Valley of the Sun and unhappy with the organization. You think he should be happy because his main beef was with Monty Williams, who's now coaching the Detroit Pistons, for the bag of cash. He won the Michigan lottery, but instead, DeAndre Ayton's all that jazz about playing for the Suns. He's upset with the fans turning on him during the playoffs because he quit on the team. He's upset that they got upset with him for quitting on the team. And so are the Suns stuck with DeAndre Ayton as we sit here in early August? You know what it is? It's a Wrigley's Juicy Fruit bubblegum stick that has been chewed up and is now stuck to your shoe. It's a sticky situation is what it is, because Ayton already demonstrated that he wanted out. He signed a contract with the Indiana Pacers last year, and it was matched. And so there's this imaginary bungee cord that is going between the Suns and DeAndre Ayton. I don't feel bad for him. He's rich, and he's got a new coach, Frank Vogel, who will suck up to him, the old Laker coach and Magic and Pacer coach. And so they'll try to smoke the peace pipe together, and they'll go hang out in the Bahamas where DeAndre is going to play for the international team there for the Bahamas. But Phoenix has this slingshot approach to the next NBA season. They've got Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, the three-wheeled motorcycle, the slingshot. That's what they've got. And DeAndre Ayton is the spare tire. Now, I don't know where the spare tire is on a slingshot motorcycle. I've never seen one, so I don't know that exists. Plus, if you also look around, he's been exposed as antiquated. His style of play in the playoffs, he was badly outplayed by Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets. It wasn't even a contest. So much so, he tossed in his jockstrap and gave up at the end of that series.